What is up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What is up, you guys? Apostle T here. A lot of you guys know me as the Apostle with the prophetic edge. Some of you guys know me as thoughtsbyt because that is the social media handle. I feel like today has been the first day in a while that I've actually felt up to like broadcasting and different things like that. But I wanted to get on here to kind of talk to you guys about signs that you know that you've made the right decision in something that, God has, presented you with, how do I say it, Holy Spirit? Signs that you've made the choice that God needs you to make in life. We'll just say that hey, Mrs. Hatcher, I think many of us have been at that place where, and I kind of want to talk about two things. God has put it on my heart to talk about two very different things. How do you know when God needs you to make a choice? And signs after you've made the choice. What are the signs that you've made the right choice? I think that in most instances, when it is time for us to make a choice, whether or not we're going to do something, not do something, whether we are going to cut someone off, open up our heart to someone, I think one of the telltale signs that, it's time for you to make a decision is that your peace leaves you. Let's flow. Your peace will literally leave you. You may even feel a little bit of confusion. I also think that signs that a season is shifted or that something is not for you or that you're coming to the juncture where you have to make a decision. I think apart from your peace leaving you, apart from, and I pray that you're doing well, Mrs. Hatcher, you've been in my heart. Apart from your peace leaving you, apart from feeling a little bit of confusion, I think that leading up to the decision, things can become a little bit more turbulent than usual, where you find yourself, having the same hiccups in a situation over and over and over again, or you may have a cycle where things are good and then boom, something happens and it's bad. Then things get back good and then boom, something else happens. But I think that at the juncture that, we come to where God needs us to make a choice, I believe that there's a frequency in that cycle. And a lot of times what most people will do is they'll stay there, and they'll cling to the good parts about a thing and not even realizing that the signs are showing them all around. You have a choice to make. And a lot of times when things are in a cyclic nature like that, what I've noticed from my own experience is that when you go through those type of cycles, it is a telltale sign that something is not for you. This is just a preface to the message. It is a telltale sign that something is not meant for you, or that something's or a person's season is coming to an end. And so today was one of those days. It's been a pretty busy day. It's been a pretty steady day. It's been a pretty productive day. But there was a point in this day where my heart was a little bit heavy because I kind of felt like, I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with the feeling of knowing or having a feeling like that God wants you to do something about a situation, but to you, you're kind of just trying to be sure, because it's like a lot of the decisions that the Lord asks us to make, we know that God, once I make this decision, there is literally no going back. There's literally no going back. I'm going to message you, Mrs. Hatcher. It may be time for another session. And I'll message you. But, a lot of times when God is asking us to make a decision, a lot of these decisions are not small decisions. They are decisions. Hey, Visha, a lot of the times when he's asking us to make a choice, listen, our emotions are involved. You know that once you do what God is asking you to do, there is literally no going back. It don't be no going back. So it was one of those situations today where I was not at peace. Anybody ever been, maybe you've had a friend or a person in your life, or maybe it's an opportunity and you're going through the motions, but you don't have peace. Anybody ever been going through the motions, but deep down, I don't have peace about this. Something ain't right. I don't know what it is. It ain't even that you anxious. You just be something is really not right, God. I don't know why, what it is, but something's not right. And so it was one of those deals where it was an individual. And I'm just like, Lord, this person talks about God, all of these different things. And I just kind of felt like it's almost like as this person was talking to me, I could see what the enemy was trying to do through this person, which was tear down my self-esteem. I knew that at the root of it, this is a narcissist. I can't prove that you're a narcissist, but like, I know that like something's not right. You're saying one thing. It was just, I knew that something was off from the jump. And, so, the person was like, well, let's meet up, let's meet up and hang out. And tomorrow was supposed to be the day that we hung out. But like, as the days have just been going by, I've just been noticing, apart from all of the different things that have been happening, it's like I've been in a war without understanding. I'm in a spiritual war, but I've just been firm. I've just, really just stood true to who I know God has called me to be, and stood true to like my own values and different things like that. But I know that like as the days were approaching, like it was beginning to get a little bit turbulent. Like I'm having to stand my ground. You keep trying me, and not like trying me sexually, but like testing my morals, testing my level of integrity, testing my spiritual wherewithal. And so I was getting a little bit, I'm like, God, you're not really telling me to cut this person off right now, but I'm kept asking God, show me. God, show me who this person is. And he kept saying, I already have, but I didn't get that what he was showing me was this person is a grade A narcissist. And if you don't make the choice to cut them off, they're going to taint you. They literally gonna taint you. And so all I knew was that I don't have peace. Like I'm sleeping, I'm productive, I'm still able to focus on ministry and different things that I need to do. But when it revolves around this situation, something is off and I don't know what to do. So this morning I woke up and I kind of sat on it for a little bit. And as the day went by, this individual texted me. And I knew in that moment that I was coming at that juncture where God was saying, you got a choice to make. You got a choice to make. And I think that for me, previously, I had hesitated because, of course, you think when God is asking you to make any type of decision, even outside of people, your mindset is, am I making the right choice? Anybody ever had that thought? Am I making the right choice? Whether God is giving you a choice to move to a different location, whether it is a job, whether it is a relationship, we all have that mindset where you can know exactly what God is telling you to do, but your mindset is why sometimes we linger is because, God, what if I'm not hearing you right? What if I am not perceiving this thing right? What if I make a mistake? What if I make this move and it's not what you wanted me to do? Like we all have that different thought whenever God is asking us to do something. What if? Somebody type that phrase in, what if? So like this has been me like the past week. I'm like, what if I'm wrong? What if I self-sabotage something that like you meant for me to go through? Like, what if I make the wrong choice, and because I make the wrong choice, thinking that I made the right choice, what if I go through like a set of like, self-created storms? What if I miss what you had for me? Like, what if this thing turns around? What if this is just the enemy, trying to separate and divide? What if? Like, literally, what if? But all I knew is that like deep down, I had the knowing. I was hearing what God was saying. That's not your friend. I heard her. If I heard nothing else, I heard that clearly. But I'm listening to what this person is saying, and they put on a good show. They were putting on a good show where I'm thinking, well, they talk about God, if it quack like a duck, act like a duck, it's a duck. It wasn't a duck, y'all. It was not a duck. It was not a duck. This is why discernment is so important. And so the person texted me, and in that moment, I knew that God was saying, you're not going to hang out with him. I've been hearing that all week. Y'all are not going to hang out. I knew God was saying that. But I knew that I was at that juncture where God was saying, it's time to make your choice. And so what I did was I tried to have a conversation with this individual. Try to talk to them. Sometimes you try to talk it through because you're like, maybe these issues can be resolved. It was a total demonic possession at this point. Not like to the extent of what I've experienced in the past. But the individual, in the midst of us talking, this individual says, hold on. I asked them, were they busy when I called them? They said, no, I'm not busy. So I called them, we're talking, and I'm, kind of, setting my boundaries. I'm, letting them know, like, certain words, you're wrong about me. I'm not this, I'm not that. Like, I am, reaffirming myself, but also letting them know I'm so firm in who God has called me to be that although some of this stuff is true, you're projecting. That was the gist of the conversation. So the individual starts talking. Immediately, they're like, hold on. They're texting. And so at this point, I'm like, listen, do you want to just call me back? Because at this point, my time is valuable. And if you can't see the value in what I have to say, then, I'm not going to sit on this phone and hold on while you send a quote unquote important message, especially saying that you were not busy. So nevertheless, hear me now. Nevertheless, I just got off the phone and my spirit was so unsettled that I had to do the thing that I had been trying not to do. And a lot of times it is that way, where I had to literally tell them, like, listen, everything that you've been saying I'm doing is what you're doing. You're projecting. Like, if, pretty much, I cannot be friends with you. A person that's self-absorbed and dismissive of other people's feelings, we have nothing in common. My heart don't flow that way. God doesn't flow that way. And this person had been saying, God is love. I am love. I represent love, and talking about God, talking about all these different things. I pray that I'm making sense. And so when it was all said and done, after I sent the message, they immediately responded in a very demonic way, for the most part saying, bye, I'm good. And at that moment, I knew that I had made the right choice. Now, this is like the place, I think a very intricate part is when God asks us to do something and we're unsure if we're doing the right thing. That's a very touchy place. But the most touchiest place is when it's after we've made whatever choice we felt led to make. Our mind will sit and wonder, have I done the right thing? Anybody ever wondered that? Come on, the two don't miss. Come on, what fellowship does light have with darkness? This was me. I don't flow that way. I'm not going to dismiss nobody's feelings. I'm not I'm not self-absorbed. So we can't be cool, because honestly, and then it was even more confirmation. Because I'm like, when you think about what a narcissist is a very self-absorbed person. They only move in a way that benefits them. If you're not telling them or pleasing their ego, this person had also said, I'm perfect. I said, perfect? There's nobody. And I literally told this person, there's nobody that's perfect but Jesus. Even I'm not perfect. I'd be the first person to tell them, I'm not perfect by a long shot. Nobody's perfect but Jesus. I don't do nothing. I don't do nothing wrong at all. Everyone falls short every single day. I told them everybody falls short every single day. And I straight up told them, you're a red flag. And I meant it. I know some of y'all like, Apostle, you done told somebody that they're a red flag. I sure did. Said that's a red flag. Ain't feeling it. I'm letting you know I'm not feeling that. You thinking that you're perfect? Narcissistic. I can't y'all looking back on it. It's like, how did I not see that? How did I not see that? But the question always becomes, after we've made like a major decision, a life-changing decision, a life-altering decision, the question always becomes, have I made the right choice? Y'all ever like wondered if you're making the right choice after you've made a choice? Have you ever sat and wondered, God, did I make the right choice? Anybody, by show of hands, has anybody ever like had to make a choice, and once you've made your decision and it's set in stone, has anybody ever like thought that question after you've done it? Because you're like, Lord, did I do the right thing? So today he wants me to talk about, things that how we know that we've made the choice that God needs us to make. The first thing that I noticed after this, and this was maybe about an hour ago when this conversation, this text message happened, where I just said, I'm not being cool with you. We're not friends. We're not hanging out. If you want to get the last word, you can get the last word, but you're blocked at this point. Blocked on social media. You're blocked. You are blocked. I don't hate you, not mad at you, but you're not my tribe. But immediately what I noticed, number one, when you've made the right choice, Whatever heaviness you were feeling prior to, it leaves you. The weight relieves itself. I'm going to say it again. When you know that you've made the right choice, and I think that this is a very special word for a few of you guys. The number one thing that I've noticed is heaviness always follows life-changing events because the enemy tries to get us into a place where we are confused on what to do. So a lot of times we feel heavy because of that confusion. But when you know that you've made the choice that God wants you to make, that heaviness, it leaves you. I can use, for instance, my dog, Bella. When I took her to the vet, and, I told you guys, before I saw her that Sunday, I prayed. I said, Lord, give me a sign. If she's ready to go, you need to show me. Like, you need to straight up show me. And when I went and I looked at her, I knew it is her time. She was not recovering. And so when I made that decision, even though it hurt me, even though it hurt me, even though it was painful, even though it shattered my heart to do that, like, I was so heartbroken. Those people knew that I was heartbroken, but I was in such a place emotionally that, once I did it, once it was set in stone and she was gone, there was a heaviness that lifted. It was a heaviness that lifted. Because for a year and a half, I had been dealing with the constant pressure of her being well, her not being well, her being well, her not being well, her being well, her not being well, then it getting progressively worse as time went. And so I was always feeling heavy. But the moment I made that decision, and I knew that God needed me to make that decision, in that moment, the heaviness that I felt, it lifted. So the number one sign, well, it's not the number one because they're in no particular order, but one sign that you've made the right choice is the heaviness that you feel before you make the choice, it is gone. The second thing that happens is your peace comes back. Anybody ever notice, like, when it's time to make a choice, that's a very important choice, a choice that's going to change the direction of your life or shift your life. Have you ever noticed how before you make that choice, you have no peace? Like, you literally don't have any peace. You may feel a little bit antsy. You may feel anxious. You may be battling depression. Your emotions are all over the place. You don't have peace. No matter if you seek God's face for it, it's just peace is nowhere to be found. The number two, not number two as in number one, number two, but the second sign that, like, you've made a decision that God, wants you to make is peace accompanies that decision. Peace comes. Peace accompanies that decision. Literally, y'all, after I sent that text, I wasn't going back and forth. I gave them a little thumbs up emoji. When they said bye, thumbs up. I knew that in that moment, it's like peace came. The feeling that I had before, the heaviness, on edge, it was my decision was accompanied by peace. No more heaviness, and peace came. The third sign that, like, you've done exactly what God needs you to do is direction comes. A lot of times making choices, or deciding on what choice we're going to make, especially in emotional situations that we're dealing with, the next, it's like, another thing that makes us not want to make the wrong choice or to make certain choices, because sometimes you know exactly what choice you need to make, whether it's cutting somebody off, whether it's moving, whether it is, whatever the case may be, you deep down, you be knowing what choice you need to make. But the fear a lot of times that holds people in is, what am I going to do after I make this choice? You have a fear of not having direction. But the third thing, and this will probably be the final key that I give you guys that I've noticed from my own life, is that not only does the heaviness lift, not only does peace come, but direction comes. Immediately when you make whatever choice God needs you to make, he begins to show you what he needs you to do next. I pray that I'm making sense. He begins to literally show you what you need to do next. I pray that I'm making sense. He literally shows you. He guides you. He immediately opens the door. Blessings immediately come. Whatever was being held back begins to literally flow in like a flood. And so I'm not sure why God wanted me to talk about this, but I do know that God puts me through certain things and I have to experience certain emotions so that I can give you guys the revelation to get out. I say all of this to say some of y'all are right at that juncture where God is asking you to make a choice. I'm going to say it again. Hey, Sabrina, some of y'all are right at that juncture where God literally needs you to make a choice. He needs you to make a choice. Some of y'all are right there. Some of y'all are approaching the moment where the timing for your choice, it is coming. And what the Lord is simply saying is, do what brings you peace. I need somebody to type that in. Do what brings you peace. That was literally before I sent that message. The Lord told me, do what brings you peace. If it steals your peace, that ain't God. If it steals your joy, if it steals your level of clarity, it is not me. It ain't me. I didn't send that. That's not from heaven. And I think that if we started to think that way in general about doing what brings us peace, we would avoid a lot of the traps of the devil. I'm going to say that again. If we were to just simply, hear me now, if we were to just simply focus on doing what brings us peace, we would avoid a lot of things that the enemy sends our way. We would avoid a lot of situations. We would avoid a lot of people. We would just simply, we would be able to avoid it. And so that is the broadcast. Do what brings you peace. Make whatever choice that God needs you to make and move forward. I'm going to say that again. Make whatever choice God needs you to make and move forward. Move forward. And so that is it. That is it. To those of y'all that are just coming in, you got to catch this thing from the replay. Catch it from the replay. It'll bless your soul. And so that is it, y'all. I love y'all. I'm rooting for you. So until next time, y'all. Peace.